I promised you a little bit of a warm up, and we're going to do it, whether you like it or not. Let's grow together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center. It is our weekly call-in show, and yes, of course, you can find us live on Facebook right now, our YouTube channel, but also, of course, right here on the radio, and you can call us anytime and ask a question, 330-450-1480, or send me an email. I'd be more than happy to ask the questions for you at pcook@whbc.com. Matt and Rachel are here today. How are you guys?
Good. Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah, you don't look any worse for the wear here.
No, I've got some rest.
That's good. Yeah, it's been a few days since the weekend. We were talking about this off the air, but we might as well obviously discuss the snowstorm that arrived in the overnight hours on Sunday. Matt, you were like one of the first people I thought about.
Yeah.
Oh no, what is he doing?
Not sleeping.
No. Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah, it was. We had some 3-foot drifts in front of garages. So like you pull up and you're like, I can't get, if you take the blade of the plow and push it close to the garage when there's that depth, it'll buckle the door. So you got to like scrape like 6-7 feet away and then let your shoveler pull it all out.
That's why you have a
garage.
shoveler with you.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I actually, first time ever in all the years, and 20 plus 25, 30 years of plow, and then I actually pulled 2 shovelers this time.
Oh my gosh.
So one guy worked on the walks, the other guy worked on the front of the garage doors, and we plowed it twice, but you can only get through the route so quickly. So the second time through, we were anywhere between 12 and 16 inches where it wasn't drifted.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So, yeah,
and
those guys earned their money shoveling. I'll tell you what, if you see guys out doing that, offer them a cup of coffee, bottle of water. It's
something.
They're out there really earning their money.
And that really messes with the body temperature, too. Cause,
you
get warm.
hot.
Yeah, you get warm from all that movement, but yet it's cold outside. It's just.
Well, and in the plow trucks, you got to keep the heat cranked like to max because you got to keep the windshield because you get all that snow coming down and as you're plowing it blows up on the windshield, and if you don't have the heat maxed, then so the truck's like 104 degrees inside.
And then they get inside.
They get inside, they're like, oh my God.
I'm dying right now. This is awful. Yeah, and I was so happy that I got the snow blower last year at the end of the season, and I started at 8 o'clock in the morning, which was even too late at that point. I mean, I did my driveway like every couple of hours, but then eventually I had to go to sleep Sunday night to come to work early Monday morning, and it all piled up. And I was okay though. I got
able
get
to
in
get
and
out.
out. Yes.
What kind of car you got?
I have a Hyundai Santa Fe.
All-wheel drive.
Yeah. So I was good there, but what I hate about and God bless them because I know they're all out there doing it, but the city plows, they plow your driveway in.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and that's heavy.
Well, and early on in the storm, it's still fluffy. But now that we're going into the weekend, don't think you can drive through a snowbank. This is something real important. Everybody pay attention. That fluffy snow that was last Monday, Tuesday is going to turn to a block of ice.
Yeah.
It will destroy the front of your car. So do not think that you can just go push through it like what you could when it was fluffy.
Right.
Because that is not going to be the case. We're going to see, -9, -10 this
could be 11
without
yes.
wind chill.
If we break a record, it'll be 11.
So just be careful. Hopefully you can call. I know a lot of we get customers that call in, same thing. They cleared up, especially the ones on like a 4-lane road. It's 3 foot deep at the end of my drive. We got to go back out and push that open.
Yeah.
That way they
That's
can
tough.
get in and out. Yeah.
Tough. Well, we wanted to talk about salt.
Yes.
Let's talk about that
So
first and foremost.
There is a major salt shortage. Just not enough was produced, and we're having a much snowier winter. We're already 10 inches over the average that we normally achieve. So there's not going to be enough salt. They cannot produce it fast enough to supply it. Like the one place, I think they had 130 semis in 10 days. They were down to 12 semis.
Wow.
So this salt is going to New York, to PA. They're not just supplying us locally because New York and PA have been out for a while.
Yeah.
They're scrambling, buying it wherever you can get it. So if you see salt and your driveway or your sidewalk is something that you want to maintain salted through the rest of the winter, buy a few bags because it's not going to be there much longer. Most of the wholesalers are already out.
Wow, that's crazy.
It
So
is.
I'm hoping we can
Yeah.
get through the rest of the winter with what I've got stored up. But I know we went and bought 4 or 5 pallets last week at the nursery to try to make sure that we could do a good job and take care of our customers through the rest of the season. But there will come a point in time where it's just out and there's nothing left.
And that's the nursery to use, not for
Correct.
you to sell, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Just want to make sure people understand that.
Yeah. And I think we would sell some to a certain point once we get down to what we could mission critical.
Right,
We can't really
right.
go below that, or we can't service our customers. We would definitely sell some bags till we get to that point.
Yeah, and I was saying off the air too. There were some municipalities in Pennsylvania where my family was that had no salt, and they were just panicking because it didn't arrive until late Saturday night. But still, yet another
Think they
snowstorm.
got it.
I mean, this is only January.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
We got a lot of time left.
We do. We
So
do.
something else I want everybody to think about is, other than getting your salt now, if you're going to, and as the snow starts to melt, you get the road spray. Everybody's using tons of the window wiper fluid. Get the negative 30-degree stuff, especially for the cold that we've got coming up. The negative 20-degree stuff will most likely freeze in the lines or in the container, and then you're not going to have windshield wipers. And without that, with the road spray, you can't see out your window. So it's $1 or $2 more a gallon. Just spend money, be safe, make sure you've got something in there that's not going to freeze up on you. It's going to work like it's supposed to. Those parking inside a garage may not have to deal with that, but any of the rest of us that park outside, it'll be an issue if you're not running the negative 30-degree stuff.
And make sure you start your car from time to time if it's staying
Like
idle.
if you're not going out.
If you're not going out, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
My
you
husband
didn't make it
was
out
on
till this morning.
No,
right?
no, yeah. And actually my car I didn't start it on Monday, and Tuesday it was dead, so we had to jump it, but I'm back
Yeah,
to
run it,
Yeah.
so.
and keep the gas
Yes.
tanks full too,
Yes,
because
yeah.
that'll help prevent moisture from building up in the tank itself. Because as the temperature changes, you'll get condensation inside an empty tank, where a full tank you won't have that. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a smart
I did
idea
that
to
once
keep it
when I was
full.
younger, actually, and I always think of my grandpa. Like every time, like it starts to get cold, and make sure my gas tank is
Yeah,
full
fill up
because
the tank.
he let me have it. He's like, you don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
always think of
back
him.
then
I
we were
think-
broke.
Right.
Like
true.
we didn't
Yeah,
pull it
and
up
I
because we
was
didn't
kidding.
want to. We didn't have any cash to
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, can't do it right
Or
now.
it was for other things, yeah.
Is it payday yet? But yeah, just be careful with that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're going to be out doing any snow removal, I mean, the temperatures we've got coming, within minutes you can experience frostbite on the skin. So the most important part, you can layer up using thin layers, and multiple layers will make it so you still are mobile and you don't feel like the Stay Puft Marshmallow
Yes,
guy.
the
out there.
Michelin
that's-
Man. Yeah.
But you do want to make sure that you're keeping your skin covered. Even if it's just a thin pair of gloves, it keeps that air off that skin, and that's really where a lot of, and it sets in so
Yeah.
fast you don't even realize that
That's-
it's happened.
Yeah,
That's
So-
it.
exactly. Yeah.
Because it sometimes you think, oh, it's not so bad out here.
Yeah,
And then
because
all of
you're
a
numb
sudden,
already.
and my
Yes.
face, it was my face, my cheeks, because I had everything, I had gloves on
Yeah,
and a
my
hat,
nose.
and I was good. But I was like, uh-oh, tied that scarf around my face, and
And
away
blow-
I
and
went.
And blow into the wind, not against it. When
Yeah,
you're
oh,
running
yeah.
a snow
Woo.
blower, you're going to look.
Yeah, this was my first time with a snowblower. I was like, what is happening right now?
Oh my
This thing
gosh.
turns, right? It turns. Yeah, that's kind of fun. It's actually pretty funny. But it was actually kind of fun to do it with a
Yeah.
snowblower after having done years of a shovel. you
I
know?
bet, especially
Yeah.
this snow that we
Yeah.
got. Yeah.
I mean,
That
there
a
was
good
no
purchase.
way. There's no way I could have ever gotten out there and kept up with that if
With
I
a
didn't
shovel.
have.
No, yeah.
I don't know how people did it with a shovel. I just don't know. It's tough.
Just a lot of
Yeah.
Very
patience.
tough.
And make sure you're running that rec fuel in that
Right,
snow blower,
right.
because that rec fuel doesn't have ethanol in it. It's got fuel stabilizers, because we may go another 2-3 weeks, or we could go 2 days before our next snow event. So because we don't know, you want to make sure you're running the rec fuel in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and
Promise you won't laugh at me.
I won't.
Mine's a plug-in. It's electric.
Okay.
Because I don't have a big driveway.
Right, right.
I have a 50-foot cord on it, and it works.
Yep.
So, and I didn't have to mess with the gas, which
Yep.
kind
Yeah.
of made me happy in a way. You
yeah,
know?
For
that's
sure.
kinda,
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
so-
I think that's why the battery operated tools are becoming more and more.
They
more
really- they're
popular.
coming a long
Like,
way.
I've
They
got
really
a neighbor,
are.
neighbor. She's got to be in her mid to late 80s, and she got one of the battery operated weed eaters because the gas one's too heavy for her, because she couldn't get it to start pulling on the stick. So it makes sense for people that don't understand combustion engines, and
Right.
it works.
I was afraid of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
know I shouldn't have been, and I've used gas lawnmowers before,
Sure.
but I was just like, you know what, this is going to work for me, because if I had the driveway that I had when I lived in Magnolia, forget it. I
Yeah,
could have
no.
never done it because it was a long driveway. But this one's, it's pretty.
And was
pretty,
it gravel?
No, it was cement.
Okay.
In
All right.
Magnolia, it was cement, but still would have
Yeah.
been tough. All right, we've been talking a lot about the snow and the weather, and we'll continue to do that. Matt will give you some tips and tricks of the trade, and also we'll talk, planning for the spring and getting ready for our outdoor space. And don't forget, you can always call us. We'd love to hear from you, 330-450-1480, or send me an email at pcook@whbc.com.
Hi, it's Angie Rohr with Rohr's Nursery. Spring feels like it's so far away, but at Rohr's, we're getting ready for it. Why not get an early start on spring yourself and call now to schedule your appointment with one of our experts to brighten up your landscape? Visit us at Rohr's Nursery on Everhard Road, Rohr's Nursery on Portage Street, or rohrsnursery.com.
Rohr's Nursery, we want to be your number one nursery. Rohr's Nursery, we want to be your number one nursery.
Your perfect floors are waiting for you today during the Flooring Experts event at Hosner Carpet One. It's all part of the simple, stress-free floor shopping experience. At Hosner Carpet One, you'll find expert advice, an amazing selection of flooring, helpful room visualizer, healthier premium installation, and flooring you are guaranteed to love. With carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl, area rugs, installation, and 12 months interest-free financing, you can't go wrong. See store for complete details. Visit HosnerCarpet1.com, where the installation does make a difference.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Time is ticking and your dream home's waiting. This is Steve Struckle, mortgage loan originator at the Commercial and Savings Bank. We understand that buying a home can be overwhelming, but with CSB, it's easier than ever. We offer a range of options, whether you're looking to buy, build, refinance, or improve your home. Our mortgage lenders will guide you every step of the way. Visit our website at csb1.com to apply online today and turn your dream into reality. The Commercial and Savings Bank, where homeownership begins. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Okay, so your trophy's in the cabinet. Business is great. The growing pains are all in the past and you're feeling optimistic. Now you're in big trouble. Because truth is, no matter how well you slayed your last quarter, the next one could slay you right back. And without a cohesive strategy and a scalable idea you can rely on, nothing is certain except uncertainty. Which is why for your next rodeo, you need the Next Rodeo. The Next Rodeo is a true creative partner that brings next-level creative thinking and production quality to companies who didn't believe they could afford it. So you can keep your company growing without outgrowing the dream that started it. The Next Rodeo. The difference between the business you have and the business you want is one great scalable idea. Get the full story at thenextrodeo.com.
And welcome back to Let's Grow Together with Rohr's Nursery and Garden Center. Matt and Rachel are here this morning, and we've been talking a lot about all the winter stuff and how to prepare yourself. And if you have to go outside and shovel, or use your snowblower, make sure you bundle up. And there's no camping in this kind of weather.
No,
except for your dad.
Except for my dad. Yes, yeah. My dad was out in it last weekend. So,
oh my gosh,
he enjoyed himself.
I can't imagine.
I know.
I think it's funny. Producer Nick goes,
it.
"Why?"
that's what I said. But
I'm an outdoors guy, and I even got to ask why on that one. Holy moly! That's
said it was
too
warm
cold.
in the tent, but I wouldn't have gotten out of the tent.
Definitely warm.
I know.
What do you call warm? What's warm? Yeah, exactly. All right. So where are we moving to next now? What are we talking about? Getting ready for the spring? I think that's probably a good thing,
right?
We
had a ton of phone calls last week of people getting ready to ship plants here and wanting to know where I wanted to be in the schedule. Now the snowstorm pretty much changed that. The phone's been real quiet this week. But last week, they were pretty mild in a lot of the other places, but now they're all buried too. So
Yes.
they're like, yeah, we're going to push that back a few weeks. I'm like, yeah, it's a good idea.
And we're talking shipments of what? What would that be?
So that's like a lot of our stuff comes in early is the evergreens, like the big spruce trees. And one of the first orders we get in every year is about 3 semi-loads of spruce. They're a little harder way in the stuff. Such big fat trees, and it takes longer to put them away. They take up more space, and so we try to get those out of the way first when the guys are fresh, and then the deciduous stuff always goes away a lot quicker because you've got this long skinny trunk and you can see the root ball real easy. So we just, in the past, we've always just tried to do those early, get them done, and then a lot of the stuff that comes in from Oregon is going to be the real unique things, the very specimen-y stuff, weeping spruce and weeping Japanese maples and big upright Japanese maples, and the things that we just can't grow fast enough here. We'll supplement. We'll buy as much as we can out of like the Lake County area up along the lake. There's different growers we deal with up there, but they a lot of times don't have the bigger sizes because it just grows too slow here. So we'll go out west, bring the bigger stuff in from out there, and then kind of that way we've got something for everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
And you want to talk about houseplants?
Well,
right?
yeah. Actually, with this cold too, I do want to kind of mention to kind of keep houseplants away from like the drafty areas and make sure they're not like none of the leaves are touching the windows because a lot of times those windows can be cold and that can kind of cause browning and stuff on the leaves. This is also a lot of times, or this is like the time when you start to kind of notice some pests and diseases, or more pests than anything, like mealy bugs and scale, that kind of stuff. So just kind of inspect your houseplants, make sure there's nothing on there. A good systemic granular, which is what you put in the soil, is a preventative. It's probably about time to do a second application now by the time, because we usually recommend doing it when you bring them in.
Yeah. It lasts for about 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks, yeah. So, and it is okay to kind of overlap them a little bit. That way it's still in the system. So, but now's about the time that people start noticing them. So.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. People may have an area where they always have indoor house plants and keep them, but in this weather, the draft that it comes in can be detrimental to them.
Yeah, even in, like, I have a sunroom, but it's kind of drafty even in there, but I moved them into the main part of the house just because it's too cold out there. This is the first time I've ever had to do that, really.
Wow.
So, but yeah, just opening that door just for a minute or so, like, can bring that draft in, and certain things like pothos and philodendron are just like, no, they don't like it. No,
help me,
I'm
help
used to
me.
Hawaii, so.
And that made me think of something else. Nothing to do with landscaping or plants, but furnace filters.
Oh, yeah.
So if
That's a
I
good
mean,
one,
your
too.
furnace is running a lot right now, so making sure those filters are fresh and new, it creates less back tension on the air coming through. The furnace works more efficiently, and you surely don't want it to break right now.
And you know, something else too I kind of wanted to bring back around is, like, don't leave your dogs out too long in this cold, because their little pads on their paws can freeze up so quick. So just kind of,
keep your pet, get the pets inside.
Yeah, most
Get
of them
them
don't want to be
inside.
out long
I was gonna
anyway.
say, my dog's out, boom, done, back in the house.
Yeah.
He's
There's
not-
no
Back to
worries.
the couch. Yep.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly right. And if you know somebody who's got a pet outside, go help. Take them indoors. You see a kitty cat needs a little
or
shelter in a garage.
Yeah, we do carry straw at the
we sell a
nursery.
lot this
So
time of
yeah,
year for-
because
for
there are
outside
stray
animals.
cats and outside. Yeah. So
livestock and stuff like that.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
idea.
definitely.
That's a good idea.
A lot of guys will run heat lamps this time of year
Yeah.
in livestock cages outside. Make sure those are operational for your ponds. Make sure your
I was going to
heater-
ask you about that.
Your heater and your aerators are working. I had a guy in the nursery just a day or two ago, and his heater had quit working. So we were able to get him a fresh heater, get it back in the pond, get that opening in the ice again. If you're just running aeration, as we hit single digits here, the pond is going to freeze over. As long as the aerator is running underneath the ice, like the ice is clear enough, usually you can see bubbles still coming up under the ice, then it's okay.
Okay, I was going to say, what happens
So a lot
then?
of people, the old mindset was to just run a heater, and that opening in the ice allowed any methane gas to escape. Methane comes from the rotting fish waste or any plant material or leaves that got through the net. As they decay, that methane builds up. That methane will absorb the oxygen. Now it's in competition for breathing oxygen in the water, and then the fish don't win that battle. So running an aerator is a little different. One, they use like 5 watts of power instead of 700 watts of power. So when you have a heater plugged in that runs continuous, it's a significant electric bill. The aerator, you won't even know it's plugged in on your electric bill. You're looking at $quarter a month to run it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the aerator brings warm water to the surface and keeps an opening in the ice as well. Now, when we hit single digits, as the bubbles burst at the surface, even though they're teeny tiny micro bubbles, you'll actually, as the bubbles come to the surface and burst, it freezes a dome. And, but you got to remember, now that water, as it comes to the surface, is exposed to 32-degree ice, not negative 10-degree air.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually insulates the pond by freezing. And as long as the oxygen's being put back in the water underneath, that methane that isn't going to build up, it's not going to hurt the fish. There's no competition for breathing oxygen. Normally here in Ohio, they recommend heating or aeration. But anybody that's got an investment in their fish or a personal attachment to them, which does happen. I know people that have them named.
It's their pets, right?
Grandkids picked them out. I recommend running both. That way you have redundancy. The other thing I recommend is running them off 2 different GFI circuits. Because if your heater goes bad and it kicks the GFI off and the aerator's plugged in there, you lost them both. So if you can run them in different circuits, the heater I would run to wherever you have your pump cord plugged in, and then the aerator could be run on an extension cord because it's pulling such a small amount of electric. It's easier to run that on an extension cord, but having them plugged into 2 different GFIs creates redundancy. More things have to fail for there to be a catastrophic problem.
Gotcha.
I've had people ask, or heard people ask this before, and I've always been curious too. If the ice does freeze and you break the ice, does that bother the fish?
So banging a hole in the ice is not the ideal
Okay.
way to freeze, like that gentleman.
You don't
that had
bang
that,
on the
right.
you
bang on the
aquarium.
aquarium glass. Well,
Oh,
this is magnified tenfold because when you bang on it, you're the whole top of the pond is solid, but it's
Like,
shuddering.
And the water,
And it sends shockwaves
Okay.
down through the water
Yeah.
that can mess with their dormancy or their hibernation.
That makes
You know,
sense.
their dormant state in the water. So the best way, so like this gentleman that his heater quit working, of course, it froze solid in the pond. Now he had an aerator too, so he had that redundancy. But when
Okay.
he checked it, he's like, I wanted to put another heater back in there. And so I told him, I said, take a pot of boiling water. Of course, be careful where you're walking with it. Boil that pot of water and set it on top of the ice. Don't dump it out. Set the pot of boiling water on the ice, and that hot metal will go down through and create an
full of
opening.
tricks.
So there's no shock waves going through the water.
Yeah. I told you tips and tricks.
And that's
Yeah.
more efficient than trying to like dump boiling water. It's just going to turn
Yeah.
cold right away. But if it's all inside that pot, that
It'll
pot will melt
slowly-
a hole down through the
Good
ice
idea.
and allow you to put that heater back in, and that heater will open up that hole again.
Except, running from your kitchen to the pond with the
Yeah,
boiling
well,
water.
I was going to say, there's still risk involved.
Yes, yeah.
So
that
you
could be.
do want to be
I hear
careful
you.
as you're moving around with it. But that's
Watch where you're walking.
the best way to do it without
Yeah.
having any problems with the fish.
And
Okay.
And let the other one that's in there, stay frozen in there. Ain't hurt nothing staying frozen in the ice. When we warm back up and have a thaw out, then you can pull that non-working heater back out.
And Rachel and I are all about taking care of those fish.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure they're good. All right, we're going to take our break. And again, don't forget, you can give us a call at 330-450-1480. You can send an email, pcook@whbc.com. This is Let's Grow Together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center.
Altman Health System has been caring for our community for over 130 years. This includes 24/7 emergency services, heart care, surgery, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Altman Health System. Today, tomorrow, and always. We're here for you. Altman Health System has been caring for our community for over 130 years. This includes 24/7 emergency services, heart care, surgery, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Altman Health System. Today, tomorrow, and always. We're here for you.
Think tax return? Think new flooring. Use those tax return dollars and turn them into your next home project and get new carpet, luxury vinyl, or hardwood. Think tax return? Think new flooring at Bob and Pete's Floors on Tuscarawas Street in Kent.
You gotta go to Bob and Pete's for Happy Feet.
Tune in each Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for the Money Matters radio show. Find out how today's economy, debt levels, and policies affect your hard-earned money. You've made your money. Now it's time to watch it grow. Tune in to the hour-long Money Matters radio show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC. To speak to Bob Vowdy or Dave Ryan about your money matters, call New Horizon Financial Group in Canton at 330-499-1915. 330-499-1915.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Back by popular demand, pros pick DuraCube or Red Out Softener Salt as buy 12, get 1 free at Verndale Water Experts. Stop in or convenient home delivery available.
Ferndale's Water Center.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, the Federal Reserve held interest rates steady Wednesday at 3.5% to 3.75% in a 10-2 vote, pausing after 3 consecutive rate cuts last year. Fed governors Stephen Moran and Chris Waller dissented, preferring another quarter-point cut. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said the economy is on firm footing with clear improvement in the growth outlook and signs of stabilization in the labor market. Powell also said the views of inflation risks as diminished, but noted inflation remains somewhat elevated above the Fed's 2% target. Federal agents involved in Saturday's fatal shooting of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis have now been placed on administrative leave. A federal law enforcement official confirmed the revelation directly contradicts what Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bavino said over the weekend. He told reporters that those officers involved in the shooting were still working, but were just in a different location. In sports, the Cleveland Cavaliers welcomed back LeBron James last night with a video tribute that actually brought him to tears. And then they beat the Lakers 129-99. Big news out of Berea yesterday, of course. Browns have hired former Baltimore OC Todd Monken as their new head coach. For News Talk 1480 WHBC, I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Your AccuWeather forecast. Today, expect low clouds in the morning, giving way to some sunshine later, but it will remain frigid with a high of 15. Tonight will be very cold, possibly breaking the record of 6 set in 1965. With low clouds persistent, prolonged time outdoors could result in hypothermia, and unprotected pipes may freeze and burst. The low will drop to 11 below zero. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy and frigid with a high of 13. With the AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
It is Let's Grow Together with Roar's Nursery and Garden Center. Pam Cook with you. Matt and Rachel are here as well, and we're live on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel. Please remember you can give us a call just if you want to chat or ask Matt the Wizard any question. Maybe we could play Stump Matt. That would be 330-450-1480 is the number to call. pcook@whbc.com is the email address if you want to send something. And we were talking off the air. I was saying how I saw the story on ABC Nightly News with David Muir last night. He spotlighted a ODOT truck driver who heard of a baby that was sick and needed to get to the hospital in an ambulance, and they couldn't get through. The ambulance couldn't get through, so he drove to the ambulance and then plowed the whole way.
That's so amazing.
Awesome. Yes.
But that needs to be heard.
Reminds me of what you were saying. Oh, everybody who had a little part in it during that storm. It's pretty amazing.
Well, I think it's important to remember that, like, as plow drivers, we're out on the road, and sometimes you're like, what are these people doing on the road? A lot of safety services people that have to be there. They have to go to work because they're going to work. Is the lives that they're protecting are important
keep us
too.
Safe, yeah.
And so making sure that we do everything we can to keep the roads open, to keep the driveways open, so these people can come to and from is very important.
Yeah, and just when you're out and about in the middle of the night, just be careful. If you have to. I mean, I drive to work at that time normally.
Yeah, you do. You're early.
Yeah, you're one of those.
ODOT.
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I am. But it's okay. I've learned how to navigate. Fortunately, I live a lot closer to the radio station now than I did way back when. Helps coming down State Route 800 after a snowstorm. Oh yeah, munga. That was a tough one. But they would be out there. The plows would be out there. They'd they knew to get the state route done pretty quickly, and so that was a good thing. But still, it's not easy. And Matt, you know, you're talking about all of the people, but you know, kudos to you. I mean, you're out there helping your customers and making sure everybody's safe, and you know how to do it. You know how to do it.
And without our support team behind us, the guys that are in there, the unsung heroes, the guys that are fixing the plows, I mean, it's as simple as the gas station attendant that showed up to open the pumps, because if he doesn't, we can't work. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes that never get any praise at all. So my thing is, let's say thank you to those people. You know?
Absolutely.
Because we can't do our job if they're not there doing theirs.
Right. Right.
And so I'm super thankful. Terry's Truck and Trailer is one of the snow plow places we deal with. Those guys are fantastic. They do a great job. They get you back on the road and out there doing what you need to do. So I appreciate those guys more than they know.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody that works the plows for sure. And we've got phone calls coming in, so we're going to get to them here in just a minute. You know what? I'll take the first call. I don't know who it is, but I'll take it anyway. Good morning. You're on the air with Roar's Nursery. Go ahead.
It's just me. How you guys doing?
It's Al. I didn't need to know your name. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I've been in and out of the car, so did I miss, Matt and Rachel, is this cold weather affecting our plants? You know, I got all those new shrubs. Are we going to lose bloom time this year? Is the snow an insulator? What do we got going on? Because this is a cold one.
Yeah, so the snow, as much as it created a headache over the weekend, is a blanket of protection. So we're super thankful for it when we're looking at it from the plant aspect. Because now those plants are exposed to 32-degree snow, not this negative 10
they're kind of blanketed in there
in.
from that wind.
Yeah, and so it protects them. So the snow is a huge blessing on the plant end of things. Now, if the plants are above the snow line, you could experience some dehydration, like with rhododendrons or azaleas. Their flower buds are already formed and they're sitting there. If you sprayed them with wilt proof a couple weeks ago, remember we had that warm up, we talked about it on the show. If you sprayed wilt proof on there, you sealed those plants and they should go through the winter with no damage.
Okay. You know, go figure, of all the years I buried that fig tree. I mean, so, you know, but I hope with the leaves I have on top of it and the snow is an insulator.
I think, yes. I think it was.
I think I'll be okay.
I think you will. I think it was a good thing that you did it this year out of all the years, because it's.
Yeah, if you hadn't put all that leaves on there, I mean, the leaves act like a 100-pane window, and there's each layer of leaves, there's a small air pocket, and that just insulates, it helps hold that ground heat there, so I think you should be fine. It's when they're exposed with no protection, the real damage happens.
Okay. All righty, well, that's encouraging. Thanks to snow for our little insulators.
Yes, absolutely. Got to look at it that way, right?
Yeah, I'm not worried about the garlic. Nothing kills garlic.
No, that's true.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, so, all right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, sir.
Be safe out there.
All right. Yep. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. We have Roseanne in Canal Fulton. You're on the air with Roar's Nursery. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have a tall umbrella tree indoors. Mm-hmm. It's about 8 foot tall. In fact, Roar's has one right as you go into their nursery, because I've been in there comparing. And I believe one of your ladies told me one time last fall that I should top it off. And in other words, it's getting too tall and it needs to be. I'd like to know when the best time to do that is. Okay. I keep it indoors, but in the spring, come May, I do get someone to help me carry it outside, and then it stays outdoors for the rest of the time.
Perfect.
Until fall.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Actually, that is something to do. Really, it's a Scheffalera, which is, they take really well to trimming, and you would probably want to do that here. I would say probably more towards like the end of February. Really, once the days start getting a little bit longer and it starts to get a little bit warmer, and also too, then I would fertilize it. And yeah, when you trim it, you can trim it back as hard as you really want. You just want to go above like the next set of leaves, just kind of right above there. And then I would fertilize it. You could use like the all seasons fertilizer, the granulars, pellets, and then you can use a liquid with that too, like when you trim it, and that'll help force out some growth. But that's a really good idea to help keep it nice and bushy. But
okay,
yep,
wonderful. Okay. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for the call.
Appreciate the call. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
All right, so we lost one call. Call back. You can call back, Carmel. We'll take your call, 330-450-1480. Or you can send an email and ask questions if you want to do that.
Something else we can talk about here, too, and this isn't something normally that we need to think about, but like I have a split level, and I have a crawl space underneath my living room and kitchen. Now, that crawl space is got vents on the side and exposed to the air. Now, there's insulation on where the pipes run, but this time of year when we're going to see these crazy cold temperatures coming this weekend, I'm going to run some water through those pipes periodically. The piping that goes out to the kitchen, just turn the kitchen on, let that water run for a while. Turn the hot water on, because the insulation that's in the joists will hold that heat. So for a longer period of time, just not letting it go all the way cold. If you have access to the vents outside, just put a piece of styrofoam or kick some leaves up or snow up against it. The nice thing with the snow is a lot of times it's covered those vents already.
Yeah,
anyways.
right.
Yeah,
And
that
so
is true.
you're not letting that negative 10-degree air in there. Just ounce of prevention's worth a ton of cure.
That reminds me, because my mom reminded me to make sure that your dryer vents and stuff like that don't get covered with the snow.
Oh,
Just
right.
because,
yes.
so
You don't want any kind of
most
combustion.
of them are up kind of high nowadays, but.
And we had some 3-foot drifts, though.
we did.
So
Yeah, no
I'm
kidding.
glad this isn't a normal thing that we're going through.
I know.
To be honest, I feel like this is
that
a
would
lot
be
of-
tough if you lived this. Like if you lived up along the lakeshore, like in Ashtabula, Lake County. We were talking about that.
This is the
Imagine.
norm.
It is the norm.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine. That's why I don't live there.
We
I
would
guess.
adapt,
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
If
You
it
would.
was the norm, you'd be like, okay, it's just a Tuesday, not a big deal. Like my buddy lives in Daytona, and he's freaking out because it's going to
I
be
was
like
gonna
15
say.
or 20 degrees this week, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be like Arctic plunge. And I'm like, dude, that's like a heat wave up here.
I
man.
know.
And we laugh at like how the people like down south when they get stuff because they're not ready. So
No,
I'm sure
and they're
people
blood
up
thins.
north they're kind of
My parents froze when they used to live in Florida for
years.
years. They would come home for the holidays and they would be freezing,
Yeah.
even if it was like 35 degrees. You know,
50's cold.
Makes
for them.
Yes,
They're like,
yes.
they need a winter
That's me.
parka.
I have a question. So wonder if you forgot and you left your hose connected. Just asking for a friend.
Oh no!
What happens? What will happen?
So most outdoor hydrants have when you shut it off, it goes back inside the wall and actually weeps inside the wall or behind the wall into the gravel or crawl space. It doesn't actually allow water to be outside. If it's still hooked up and you can unhook it, I would. I wouldn't do anything crazy like trying to run a torch on it because there are rubber seals up inside there that you could do damage to, and you don't want to do that. But under normal circumstances, you want to unhook the hose. It prevents any moisture from getting blocked and held up into the actual spigot itself.
Gotcha. Okay.
But at this point, if it's already frozen on, not a lot you can do.
Right.
So I
Maybe when it gets 30 or starts to thaw a little
watch
bit.
when it does warm up to make sure that's not a leak site.
Okay.
So some of the problems that we might experience this weekend, we won't find out about until we warm back up. So just watch. I mean, I know one of the hydrants and even inside the greenhouse froze up the other day.
Yeah.
So-
No
even
kidding.
With even with the down.
because part
so
of our
this-
greenhouse
it was-
is heated, part of it's not.
Okay.
Well, the hydrant just happens to be in the part that's not
Not.
heated right
Mhm.
now.
Yes,
So
yeah.
now it's a buried hydrant where you shut it off and there's a rod that goes down to a plunger. It's like 3 foot deep. But there must have been a little water that got past that. It does not look like it burst the pipe, but
That's
it has
good.
made the rod so it doesn't move. So we're pulling water from a different area out of the store. Hoses running through the store. It is what it is.
Part
It
of life. It's
It
what-
won't be
it's
like
exactly
that for
right.
a little while. We'll be back to normal here, hopefully
Yes.
shortly.
Yeah, that would be very nice if we could
spring
get back
will be
to normal.
here eventually.
We need a meltdown. I'm out of room at a lot of places
I
to
know.
push snow.
I know it.
8-foot piles.
I mean,
know,
it's
yeah.
insane.
You think about the places that get a lot of snow, like regularly. It is. Where do you put it?
Well, their homes up there, they actually look at things totally different.
Yeah.
Their landscaping is different because they don't have a bed at the end of their driveway.
Right.
That's where the snow goes.
Right.
Oh,
And
wow,
they
yeah.
actually
Got a plan for it, right?
For
Yeah, I
me
guess
and my
so.
wife, we've talked about as we get older, like she broke her ankle last year, and so we have a split level house. It created a very unique situation when the bathrooms are upstairs and downstairs, and she's on the first level. So as we get older here, one of the things we had talked about was looking for a ranch. Something where, I mean, we're not there yet, but just down the road when the kids are kind of gone and grown, starting their own thing, we're looking for a ranch with a nice big barn so I can have my stuff out there.
Yep.
See?
And it's just one of those things that
that
you don't think about until
you have to. I know.
I love the split level design.
Me
now.
too. And then and it was
same.
fortunately for my mom, it was I had a split level, and then we moved to a ranch. We're in a ranch now, and that was like a godsend for her.
I bet,
to get around, and for me too. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a spring chicken, but you start to feel those aches in your knees and the things and the steps, and you're like, I don't want to take care of that anymore, and all that kind of good
low
stuff.
maintenance.
Yeah, low maintenance.
That is what
right.
I'm looking for.
That's it. All right, we will take our final break, and again, it is Let's Grow Together with Rohr's Nursery and Garden Center. Give us a call at 330-450-1480.
Hi, it's Angie Rohr with Rohr's Nursery. Spring feels like it's so far away, but at Rohr's, we're getting ready for it. Why not get an early start on spring yourself and call now to schedule your appointment with one of our experts to brighten up your landscape? Visit us at Rohr's Nursery on Everhard Road, Rohr's Nursery on Portage Street, or rohrsnursery.com.
Rohr's Nursery, we want to be your number one nursery. Rohr's Nursery, we want to be your number one nursery.
This is Paul White from the Medicine Center Pharmacy. We have a fantastic deal for you just in time for flu season. Pick any 2 Quality Choice brand cough and cold items and get 50% off the lower priced item. Also, at the Half Off and Hot Buy store, we are all set for Valentine's and Easter. We're thinking ahead for warmer weather, so stop in and take advantage of these great deals here at the Medicine Center Pharmacies and the Half Off and Hot Buy store.
Your perfect floors are waiting for you today during the Flooring Experts event at Hosner Carpet One. It's all part of the simple, stress-free floor shopping experience. At Hosner Carpet One, you'll find expert advice, an amazing selection of flooring, helpful room visualizer, healthier premium installation, and flooring you are guaranteed to love. With carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl, area rugs, installation, and 12 months interest-free financing, you can't go wrong. See store for complete details. Visit HosnerCarpet1.com, where the installation does make a difference.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation. One-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. For adults and children living with conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, chronic lung disease, weakened immune systems, and other chronic illnesses, the risks of severe respiratory infection are significantly higher. The good news is that vaccines can help protect against serious illness. Dr. Sarah Nozel, president of the American Academy of Family Physicians, shares more.
Getting vaccinated for flu, COVID-19, pneumococcal disease, and RSV could mean the difference between a mild infection and a serious life-threatening illness, particularly for infants, children, older adults, and those with chronic health conditions. If you have not had a recent doctor's visit or know you have a chronic health condition, talk to your family physician about what respiratory vaccines are right for you and your family.
For more information about vaccines for adults and children living with chronic health conditions, visit familydoctor.org. For help finding a vaccination site near you, visit cveep.org. That's cveep.org.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
And welcome back to Let's Grow Together with Rohr's Nursery and Garden Center. Pam and Matt and Rachel, we're here for you. Just kind of talking about all the things that the cold weather and the snow does to your plants and your trees and your yard and your pond and all of those things. I do have an email you can call. We've got a few minutes left if you still want to call in, 330-450-1480. So Mary writes in and says, does gas ever go bad? And if so, how do I dispose of it?
So the rec fuel that we talk about on the program a lot of times is called recreational fuel. It'll last at least a year.
Okay.
It's got stabilizers inside of it. It does not have ethanol in it. It's an ethanol-free gas. So it's got a really good long shelf life. If it's non-ethanol gas, if you just pulled up to the pump and just used a regular gas, it's a much shorter time frame. Depending on where it's stored at can determine on how long, but I would say probably no more than 3 months do you want to use it. So if you've got older gas.
How do you know if it's older? I mean, except can you tell?
Yeah.
No, there's
No?
not to my knowledge.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
nothing I know that you can identify old gas versus new gas.
Except for time, the time.
The
Yeah.
time that when
Okay.
it was purchased. So if you have old gas, and where to dispose of it,
Yeah,
that is a good question. I do not have an answer for that.
I wish we did have any, and even just like older chemicals that people find in their garage or paint and stuff like that. I really don't know of a
Do you
good
know
place.
periodically Jackson will have a drive
I was
and
gonna
they
say-
will have paint and some of those other chemicals that you don't want to just throw in a trash can to get rid of.
Because I feel like gasoline would be probably with
yeah,
that, I would
I-
think.
If you call the Joint Solid Waste District,
yeah.
they will tell you. They
Okay.
have a great website, and they always are very good at that. And they say, at a local hazardous waste facility.
They'll have periodic drives or drop-off times and stuff like that. It's
I know
not
they
always
used to when we had the
open.
recycling center,
Yeah.
but I didn't know.
They say some local mechanics will also accept it
Okay.
at an auto store, but
Okay.
I know oil and stuff like that from changing cars,
Yeah, it's
oils and
tough
stuff
to
like
find
that. You'll
places.
auto zones and places like that will take that stuff.
Oh yeah, maybe like an AutoZone or something
Yeah,
like that. So.
and I have a big bonfire pit, so my older
There you
gas
go,
never
just give it
has
to
a
Matt.
problem.
I'm just going to see.
That's
I'm going
true.
to look at their website. It's the Stark Tuskwayne Joint Solid Waste. I think it's time2recycle.com is their their website.
Okay.
Time2recycle.com. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe check that out. It has.
Yeah, you'll have to go there and look it up, and I'm sure that even if you call there, they'll tell you how to dispose of it or where, and if there's going to be any
I'm sure,
times,
yeah.
places, things like
I've
that.
never asked the auto parts store if it takes fuel or if it just takes oil, but I know I've taken oil down to like an AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, something like that. They do have a program where they recycle that oil, or it
Okay.
goes to a place that uses oil to heat. They have oil-based heaters. And
Yeah.
they'll clean that oil and then
Oh,
they'll run
that's
that oil
smart.
on a heater, so
Reuse it.
it's repurposed.
That's nice.
Yeah, and that's a
Just
good idea.
On the fuel I don't know for sure on that one.
Yeah, see, they have a ton of stuff. This is a jam-packed website.
What was it?
It's time2recycle.com.
Okay.
Time2recycle.com. Go there. Tells you where to recycle, how to recycle, composting information.
Oh, cool.
Rethinking waste and things like that. Also other
I'm
resources.
gonna have to just check that out. That
Yeah.
actually sounds very
Yeah.
novel. Because actually, we have some tires that we need to get rid of.
Yeah, see,
so
there
I
you
bet
go.
that's on there.
And
so.
that'll help you as well.
Good.
So, yeah, make sure you check it out if you want to find out. And I know, that's a really good question.
It is,
'cause,
yeah.
if your lawnmower's been sitting there for a while and
Right.
got some old gas in there you don't want to use. Can you mix it with some new gas and make it better?
Ideally, you want to get all the old out.
Okay.
And the problem with gas sitting there for a long time, a lot of times it's sitting in the carburetor as well. Now, if you have a shut-off switch, like some gas motors have what they call a fuel shut-off, and you turn the fuel shut-off off and run your mower until the carburetor goes dry.
Empty, okay.
And then there's no fuel sitting in that carburetor. The problem with the fuel sitting in the carburetor is it tarnishes and gums up and basically plugs the little teeny tiny jets inside that carburetor. So my recommendation would be drain all that fuel out, put fresh fuel in, and run an additive called Seafoam.
Okay.
SEAFOAM. And Seafoam, and what it does is it's a detergent cleaner, but it could be used in fuel. So any deposits that did happen to develop in the carburetor, it will break and help that run significantly better.
Okay. That's
Okay.
good. That's good to know as well. Very good.
And that's why you got a electric snowblower.
That's right.
Right.
I didn't have to mess with all
Out
that.
of that.
If I had, like I
Mess with any
said,
of that,
only
yeah.
because I have a nice short driveway that I can do that comfortably. I'm not going to lie. I did step on the cord one time and unplug it, and I was like, I'm on roll here.
Something you need to think about, and
Yeah.
it'll probably tell you how many amps on your snowblower it's actually pulling. Make sure you're using the right size extension cord.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is smaller cords can only handle sometimes up to 10 amps or 12 amps. Well, that snowblower may be a 14 or 15 amp motor. You want to make sure you're running the right diameter cord. Those
Gotcha.
big cords are expensive, but they generally last a long you can be as much as $80 for a 15 amp cord, a heavy duty 100-footer.
Got ya.
But make sure, because it'll work running a smaller cord, but it will burn the motor up.
Okay.
Because it generates too much heat.
Okay.
So for longevity of the motor, make sure you're running the right size.
How do you know what
extension
amp your cord is?
So the diameter of the cord is a big telltale sign. Generally, what I would say normal size cords are usually 14 gauge or 16 gauge. The bigger the number, the smaller the gauge wire is inside. You will really want a 12 gauge wire for a high amp draw piece of equipment. Table saws all pull in the maximum amps, and they will operate on a smaller cord, but it generates too much heat inside the motor. So you want to make sure you're using the right size extension cords so your equipment lasts as long as possible.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know.
Good to know.
I
don't think about it.
It is the big cord that I use for other things.
Good.
So I hope that's.
Take a picture of it, send it to me.
Okay, I will. You think I won't? I will. I definitely will. Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Okay, so Carmel, who had called in,
Yes.
but she said she had to hang up. She had a simple question that didn't have to do with the lawn program, and she did not want to interrupt the current program. Oh, this is on. She had a question about the morning show.
Okay.
Buses for elderly people.
Nice.
SARTA. Contact SARTA, and you'll be able to get more information on that. And also go to our website, whbc.com. Carmel, we've got lots of information there as well. So, yay. Very good. Very good. So, I know we just have a couple minutes left, but we're going to tell people again, start planning.
Yes.
Start planning for the spring, right?
Yep. Yeah. It's still a little early to be planning your seeds, but planning is a good time right now.
Yeah,
so
and
just kind
our
of
landscapers are meeting with people. So if it's something you're interested in, a seat wall or a fire pit or a freshen up of the landscaping around the house, or it's a new build and you need the whole thing, we can work with our designers. Call us this time of year. We can sit down with you and we can generate a game plan. A lot of times, we're going to do yard this year, and then next fall we're going to do the landscaping in the front of the house, and we can work on it in phases with you. But our designers will create an entire landscape design for you, and then you don't want to put the backyard in before you do or your front yard in before you do the backyard, because now you don't have equipment access. So it creates a game plan and makes things much more efficient, where you're not working over top of yourself, which saves money in the long run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, this cold weather's a good time to be
thinking spring
and brainstorming.
Yeah, think about it. You can make yourself feel much warmer.
Yes.
and the positivity will be good.
Yes, definitely.
Thought of a fire pit is nice right now.
Yes,
very much so.
Yes, it is. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We promise. We promise. All right, so give us locations and all that good stuff, Matt.
Yeah, we have 2 Rohr's Nursery locations, 5357 Everhard Road in Canton. That is also the place where all the snowplowers run out of. So their phone number is 330-492-1243. As of yesterday, I know we were still taking clean out accounts and going out, and times you don't have a contract for snow removal, we can help you with that for one-time cleanouts as well.
Okay.
And then our other location where Rachel and I work that has the heated greenhouse is going to be 7211 Portage Street, and we have a lot of people just come inside this time of year to see the color and smile.
Smile.
If
And
the
the
sun's
heat.
shining, if the sun's shining, it's really nice in there.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
And it is shining today a little bit, off and on.
kind
It
of.
was trying.
It's yeah.
Mhm. All right, guys. Well, we will see you again next Thursday.
See you then.
Everybody be safe.
Hi, it's Angie Rohr with Rohr's Nursery. Spring feels like it's so far away, but at Rohr's, we're getting ready for it. Why not get an early start on spring yourself and call now to schedule your appointment with one of our experts to brighten up your landscape? Visit us at Rohr's Nursery on Everhard Road, Rohr's Nursery on Portage Street, or rohrsnursery.com.
Rohr's Nursery, we want to be your number one nursery. Rohr's Nursery, we want to be your number one nursery.
Are you living